Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review, and this is day number 2 of the birthday box from Vibrant Forest. Thanks once again to my cousins for that. We have got Otto, which is, it actually says the hops on it this time, Idaho 7 and Citra Pale Ale. And I think this is where did it, oh, it had it on the back, didn't it? 4.2% on the ABV. And if we look up here, I haven't actually got my, we got oats and wheat again. If you want to scan that, that's fine. It's basically, Otto is a highly drinkable pale ale, light pale ale, packed with juicy Idaho 7 and Citra hops. Idaho 7 brings some apricot, orange, grapefruit, and peach, while Citra gives a bit of a dankness, grapefruit and tropical fruits. So pretty similar, actually. Fermentation is on a house yeast, giving some stone fruit flavours, that's before, with a soft bitterness. So I've had this one before as well. I believe, I will check in a minute, dear viewer, but I believe that I had this at the Royston. And once again, really fantastic looking can. I think this is cool. They're all big cans as well, which is cool for me. I like having a big one, as it were. So I've got the big glass, the pint glass again. This is a 440, so not quite a pint, but we're not far off either. Let us go for a pour. Oh, interesting. So this doesn't look as thick as the one the other day was, which is weird. And that was thick looking, but, you know, reasonably light. Got quite a nice head, about a finger's head there. Quite a pale colour. It does look thick. It looks like a kind of juice, some sort of tropical juice. But for my eyes in the room, a little bit kind of see-through. Anyway, here we go, day 2. Well, should I say beer 2, because I might not do one every day. We'll see how things go. Yeah, really zesty kind of grapefruity aroma. Yeah, maybe some lemon, some other types of citrus coming through. I think Idaho 7, if I remember, is still an American hop. And it gives it a bit of pine. It gives it that kind of wet, damp. I don't want to say dank because it's not a proper dank one, but it's along those lines. It's a lighter version of the dank. Yeah. Smells quite sweet as well, which is good. All right, let's dive in. Cheers and beers. Oh, yeah, we're getting a bit of that zest, pith, that kind of, yeah, maybe even kind of, you know, when you scrape the skin with one of those sort of skin scraper things, you know what I mean, to get the kind of the thing, the zest, the rind, if you like. Interesting. What else is there? There is a little bit of that dankness, and that's definitely coming from the Idaho 7, methinks. Yeah, not too much of the kind of tropicalness, which is weird because we're getting it, it's a double take. We're getting it both from the Citra and from the Idaho 7, that kind of tropical juice. I'm maybe getting a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more of the stone fruit, which again they've said comes from the house yeast. It's probably not actually coming from the yeast, it's probably coming from the interactions, the thiols, if you like, the yeast and the hops. Yeah, this is much more like a modern hazy pale. I know yesterday's beer, they kind of said, oh yeah, it's a cross between a US and, sorry, not a US, they're both US, obviously, brewed in the UK though. It's an East Coast, West Coast kind of thing. I don't think that's true. They haven't said that for this particular beer. Um, yeah, it's kind of a modern hazy. However, I think there's a lot less oats and wheat in this beer. It's not so creamy on the palate. It's a lot kind of drier. It smells quite sweet, but in fact, when you drink, it's not superbly. I'm not saying it's a dry beer because they never are, these hazy ones, um, but it's not as thick. Um, yeah, it's kind of quite fresh, which is cool. Let me dive in for some more. We have got a little bit of the lacing, a little bit like yesterday. The first tide line, as I called them, kind of fast disappearing. We got a big thick one as the second draft, which we'll see what we get as we go down the glass. But yeah, this is all about those kind of, when they say tropical fruits, I mean, you do include things like, um, yeah, like a kind of grapefruity, that is a zesty, juicy kind of tropical fruit. So it's not all kind of mango and banana and that type of thing. Um, yeah, maybe a tiny touch of kind of, what is that, like berry potentially in the background, um, which is weird. Oh, my laptop's decided to kick the fan on at full volume, so apologies if you can hear that in the background. I was doing some video editing the other day, and I noticed that there was some weird sounds in the background, so apologies if it's kind of disturbing you, but my God, it's another scorcher of a day in the UK. It's messing up my recording as well, and especially the rendering. The last video took I think it was three attempts to get it done. So what I'm trying to do is do the editing early in the morning, or late in the evening when it's a little bit cooler. But yeah, we'll see if it comes out. But yeah, when you got a cool drink in your hand, it's not all bad, is it? Life. Oh, I tell you what, actually, as I'm going down the glass, um, it is getting more and more kind of zesty, more yeah, more grapefruity, more bitter, but from a kind of fruit juice bitterness, which is interesting. Yeah, it's weird. That first tide line has disappeared. That one's gone really thin. Third one is reasonably good. But yeah, I don't know if it's these glasses because, as I said to you before, I have cleaned all my glassware using some brewery cleaner to get rid of all the kind of stuff from the side of the glass. But I did notice when we were rinsing them, um, there was a bit of kind of like chalkiness on the inside of the glass, so I had to get right in there and kind of polish them out. Ooh. Well, dear viewer, quite a good amount of carbonation, as they say. Yeah, I think I prefer. Yeah, I think I prefer the one more from yesterday. Oh, pardon me. This is, yeah, is a good beer. I'm liking it, but a little bit too zesty, a little bit a kind of borderline astringency kind of from the hops. It's not in the dank way. I think maybe if for this beer, if they had put a little bit more oat in there to make it kind of a little bit more creamy, it would offset the kind of real juiciness. Yeah, it's probably going to be, well, it could be either, but I'm going to say of the Idaho 7 potentially. So yeah, that hop does well for these modern style of beers. Um, but in this one, a little bit too thin. Still a good beer. I'm not saying no. I think it's good, but yeah, kind of picking it apart a tiny bit. Oh, and I'm glad that it had the yeah, the hops noted on there, which was cool. So there we go. That is day 2 of Vibrant Forest Otto. So I might give that one tiny less points. If I was going to score it like I usually do on Untapped, I'd probably... What did I give the one yesterday? 3.75, maybe 3.5, something along those lines. I think when I had the first one on cask, sorry, it was on key keg, I did score it as high as 4, but from the can, it was kind of lacking a little bit, and potentially that's what happened here too. Let me just double check. We've just gone over the 10 minutes. Let me check to see what I scored it last time. Yeah, it was at the Royston. I gave this one 4 as well. So, yeah, I'm thinking the Vibrant Forest, if you see them on cask, which I think it must have been in the Royston, or key keg, as opposed to the cans, I think they're better when they're from those distribution methods. You know what I mean? Hey, but I'm a camera guy. I like cask beer. I'd love to go up to their tap room. There's a potential offer for me to go and visit my cousins, and maybe we'll actually nip out to the tap room and have a couple of beers from there. But hey, we'll see how things go. Guys, this has been Unclejona, enjoying very much so indeed my birthday box beers from Vibrant Forest. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. There's going to be more Vibrant Forest coming, but I might try and do a sneaky other beer because I've still got a plenty backlog of beers that I need to drink. And yeah, I'm not at work this week, so why not drink some beers? Take care, and I'll be back with another beer review, and that's coming up real soon.